y'all, and welcome back to Raccoon Creek Homestead. Welcome if you've never been here before. We are located in West Central Indiana in Putnam County, which is about halfway between Indianapolis and Terre Haute. Those are the two pretty big cities in Indiana. And today I am coming at you with our seed haul, the big one for the year. We did have quite a few from last year, but I can't help myself, and I always seem to have to get more seeds. I got most of my seeds this year from M.I. Gardener, and I got a couple from Baker Creek that M.I. Gardener was either out of or didn't carry. So let's get into it. If you've never ordered from M.I. Gardener before, all of the seeds are pretty much $2. And there's almost always a code that you can use to get 10% off which of this order. And ignore my dirty nails. I was staining earlier. But there's a use code SHARE10 and you get 10% off. It's not an affiliate or anything like that. It's just basically spend $20 and you get a free pack of seeds. And I got 14 or 15 packs of seeds. So let's get into it. So the first one that I got is a perennial. It's hyssop. Oh, also I should warn you, I have a pretty hick accent and I'm gonna butcher most of the things that aren't basic English. The next set, so I set up at the farmer's market here in town pretty much every year, and no one ever brings peppers, so I'm going to hit the peppers a little harder than I normally would. So I got the early jalapeno pepper. And what I like about M.I. Gardener is you get 50 seeds for $2. I can't beat that. Like, that'll probably get me through this year and next year. The next one is the Ancho Grande pepper. And again, you can grow, I'm pretty sure, just about any kind of pepper in a container. So if you're growing from maybe a patio or just containers in general, peppers are a good one. I also got the sweet banana pepper. And they also have a hot banana pepper. They're too hot for me. My family, we're all a bunch of weenies. And we go for more the sweet pepper than the spicy. We did, however, we're branching out a little bit this year, and we got a peppercini pepper, which I pretty much plan to slice them like in rings and to pickle them, because we like the Mississippi pot roast, and you basically use the juice and those. Again, branching out, the shishito pepper. And it's a little bit on the warmer side. It's also pickled and wonderful pickled and fresh. This prolific producer is hot, sweet, and crisp. So I'm excited. I've seen where a lot of people will blister these and like dip them in some sort of cream-based sauce. I'm looking forward to trying that as well. Next up, we have the pink oxheart tomato. It's an indeterminate. There are basically you have two types of tomatoes, indeterminate and determinate. Determinate tomatoes are going to grow they're going to grow to maturity and they're going to stop. So if you don't want something that's going to go crazy and be like 10 feet tall, determinate tomatoes are a good one for you. That one was not. That one will grow and grow until you either pull it out or top it or whatever, but that one will keep going and keep producing. I prefer indeterminate tomatoes just because they keep going. I have a lot of tomatoes left over from last year on the seeds. I may have gone really, really crazy my first few years buying seeds, and tomatoes were just one of my favorite things to grow. And I have a lot of seeds, so last year I started like 10 or 15 different varieties of like normal slicer tomatoes, and probably 10 to 15 different varieties of cherry tomato, just to kind of see what I liked and what I didn't. So when it comes closer to planning for the garden, I will share with you what I actually plan on growing this year. But for now, pink oxheart tomato is, I think, the only tomato I bought this year, which is really, really weird for me. But that's okay. It's okay. I'm not sick. We're okay. I did get 2 different types of cucumbers this year. One of them is the Armenian yard-long cucumber. And I'm excited because they get really, really big, and they, from what I've heard, they don't, like the skin, they don't get that real thick kind of, you can let them grow and grow and grow, I mean, within reason, and they're okay. It says, a favorite among kids and kids at heart, which, that's me. I'm just a big kid. For its fun snake-like shape, these cucumbers are tasty and refreshing, especially for those hot weather months. Slice them among with sliced lemons in a water pitcher and let the flavors melt together for about an hour. Add ice and serve. And that is something. It gets pretty warm here in the summer, and I love cucumbers in water. Like, the packet kind of like, woo, squirrel. But I love it. It says it's container friendly, but it's also climbing. I'm just going to put these in the big garden down the hill and let them go nuts on a trellis. I like to let my cucumbers all grow vertically. I feel that since I've started doing that, they do a lot better, just because they're not on the ground and they don't get mushy, or the bugs and the pests don't find them as quickly. So in addition to the Armenian yard long, I also got, and here's where the sick accent thing comes in, bait alpha cucumber. I'm completely guessing on that first word, but I actually found these on Baker Creek, and they don't need pollinators, which I thought was really, really cool. It does, yeah, they're producing only female flowers. They are self-pollinating. So you don't need bees or any other pollinator to get these to turn from flowers to cucumbers. I may start these, and I have an arrow garden. I might put these, except for the fact that they climb. I really want to try these in the house and have cucumbers in the winter because I love cucumbers. But I may have started cucamelons like that last year, and they went everywhere. Don't do that. Just trust me. Don't do it. But I'm excited because last year, I don't know, with the wonky weather, we didn't have a lot of pollinators. And it was really kind of upsetting when normally cucumbers go, but it went so hot, cold. So I'm hoping that this year I will actually get some cucumbers with these, and you get 30 of them in a pack, so this will probably last me for a few years as well. And I am also one to gift seeds, so if I like these, family will get them for Christmas next year, because what can you do? All right, next up we have the Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce. I actually might start this one, and I have a raised bed with a cover. I may start this one in February. It says direct sow as soon as the soil is workable. It's cold tolerant. So I feel like once, kind of probably the end of February, once we get past like all the freezes, because there's snow in our forecast. So once we get past the freezes, I'm going to try to be a little bit more ahead of what I was last year. Last year I tried a lot of brassicas. Again, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I am not good at brassicas. Like the cabbage worms always find them, whether they're covered, whether they're like, I grew a cabbage in my bathroom last year in my arrow garden because that was the only way that I was going to get something like that to live. They even found my Brussels sprouts after me, like literally, and I mean, I've tried everything. I don't know. They don't get bigger. Like they hit a certain point and then they just stop. So if you have some tips on what I could do to help, I would really appreciate them. Feel free to drop them in the comment boxes below. Do you have luck with brassicas like cabbage and Brussels sprouts and broccoli? If you do, I'd love to know. I'd love to know your secrets. But moving on. I think the next ones, okay. So the next ones we have down the hill. So we have 8 acres, and in it we have a big field. And I'm gonna try to do wildflowers, but we've tried it in the past, but the rain washes the seeds. Like you'll see some, I swear I've seen some of the stuff I've thrown seeds for like down the road where like the creek would have dried. But we're gonna try it a little different. We're gonna take the tractor with the grater box and just try to kind of break up the ground a little bit and then sprinkle the seeds in the hope that maybe that'll kind of pack them in. But one of them is butterfly milkweed. There are different kinds of milkweed based on your area. Ours, this one is one of the more like common ones, which this one is perennial zones 4 through 8, which means it will come back yay. This one does need to be cold stratified, so I will put this in like a paper towel. I'll mist it wet, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, and I will put it in my refrigerator for 2 weeks-ish. It says direct sow after last frost. So I will probably throw these out probably April-ish. But I see these in the roadside, and it has taken everything in my power not to pull my car over and dig one up and bring it home, because you see like 50 butterflies on the side of the road on these, and I want it as I throw a fit. I also got the Upland Mix Wildflowers. These are again perennial zones 4 through 9. They're again a pollinator friendly. This premium flower mix is great for attracting pollinators and filling in areas with loads of color. Upland flowers are geared for places that tend to be drier and receive less rainfall, which is why I'm putting it in the field down there, because it's very open, and during the summer, that's kind of what we have. There are many benefits to growing flowers, and it is safe to say that the Upland Mix is one of our favorites for all around diversity and color variation. And it also says mix seed with 2/3 sand to better space out seeds when sowing. So that makes sense. That way when you're sprinkling, you get a little bit more space. So we had our house built here about a year and a half or so ago. And if you've ever had a house built, it's just all mud all the way around it. And we've tried growing grass, and it's super expensive, and it takes forever, and it's so overwhelming between that and us clearing some trees for the goats. So these next ones are actually gonna go more on like the pasture side with the goats from where we're taking out the trees. And it's now an open muddy mess instead of a shaded muddy mess. So to cut down on that and to also give our goats some foraging space, I got white Dutch clover. And again, I'm going to use this in the shadier places because it's a full sun, partial sun, cold tolerant. And I'm just kind of hoping that it kind of fills in the mud. I can't do the mud anymore. I can't do it. If you have dogs, you'll very quickly understand. Or when you're trying to do like farm chores and you're trying to go through an inch of mud, and it's just not, it's also not good for the soil. And this, it'll say replenish your soil with a cover crop that packs the nutrients. Perfect for planting right after pulling your plants for the end of season, or grow it for harvest and enjoy this edible plant that gives off a sweet vanilla flavor. Great for salads and even to sneak into baked goods. Now, I probably won't eat it, but I would be okay if my goats did. Kind of along those same lines is the Garden Mix Cover Crop. Also cold tolerant. This cover crop mix full of a variety of plants to help replenish your garden. Versatile for any garden and attractant to pollinators as well. Cover crop mix has legumes, hardy grains, radish, mustards to help heal your garden from all the growing you are doing. Make sure to till the plants before they go to seed, perfect for planting in spring or fall. Now again, I'm not gonna turn the plants into soil before they go to seed to avoid their self-seeding abilities. But I want self-seeding abilities. And this also has some of the taller stuff. Goats don't like to eat below the knee because of like their parasites, which is fine. I'm hoping that this will not only take out the mud, but also provide them a forage. And this one has 500 seeds and the Dutch clover had 1,000, which, I mean, they're both really nice and full. And that's the minimum or approximate. You tend to get more. I'm hoping that between the two of these, I can kind of at least cut down on the mud. So that's all that I got from In My Gardener, but I also got this one from Baker Creek. And like I said, I went this route because they're for $2 a pack with the 10% off. I mean, you can't beat $1.80 a pack for seeds. So these were just a smidgy more, but that's okay. They give you that. They also give you free shipping. In My Gardener gives you free shipping for anything over, I think, $12. And they give you the discount code. Baker Creek sends you a free seed pack if you spend, I think, $10 and like $35 maybe, and free shipping. So let's see what we got in here. And this one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 4 seed packs plus the free one. Like I said, some of these, I tried to get, well, here, let's just find it. So I tried to get the honey nut squash from In My Gardener, and they were already sold out. I don't know if they're going to do a restock. They tend to, but I don't know. So I just went ahead and ordered it from In My Gardener. I've never had honey nut squash. I've had butternut squash. So this one is a mini butternut. One of the best tasting squash of all time. Fruit reaches just 4 to 5 inches long, single serving size, and quicker to roast whole. I also got the golden giant amaranth. Honestly, this is more for bouquets for me than it is a grain. You can use it as a grain. I've never done it. I have taken, like, okay, let's back up. I'll put them in a vase with my flowers. Once they start kind of drying out and getting to the end of life, their seeds like literally will like fall all over your table. Then I just take that whole flower and I chuck it to the chickens, and they're like, ooh, seeds. So it has more than one use here. I also got the Day 18 Juin. It's French. It means 18 days. This radish will grow in 18 days under like the right conditions. Unbelievably rapid yields. French heirloom radish will yield roots in 18 days under ideal conditions. And you know what? When I start seeds, I think I'm going to try to grow these inside because I'll already have the light out. The temperature should be pretty dang near ideal. I'm going to try to grow these in a little container, like a Tupperware container. And I'm just going to throw some dirt in it, and we're going to plant some, and we are going to see how it gets because there's a minimum of 200 seeds. So even if they're a bust, I will feed the greens to something around here, like as a microgreen. So fingers crossed, because if I can do that in less than 3 weeks, I'm going to be a very happy camper. So again, we're doing a little bit of experimenting. I'm okay with that. Stick around and you'll get to see how it goes. I also got, and normally, like a couple years ago, I never would have bought flowers. It was all vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. And I'm expanding what I'm getting because flowers are just pretty. And sometimes I just like to come in to flowers on the table that I grew, which always makes it better. And like, I'm too cheap to buy flowers at the store. Definitely too cheap to buy them at the florist. Farmer's market, yeah, sometimes. But I can just grow my own, and then I just keep the seeds and do it all again next year. So along those lines, we are trying stalks this year. And because I could not decide what color I wanted, so we're just gonna do the Anytime mix. A fabulous jewel tone mix of sweetly scented blooms, a hardy variety. It is a long season bloomer that can tolerate both cold and heat better than any other variety we have grown. Stalks reach about 24 inches high, excellent cut flower or landscaping specimen. I might use these in my landscape. I haven't decided yet. I tend to, like if I've never grown a flower before, I tend to put them in a garden bed in case they self-seed, and then I don't have, like, it's not as big of a deal if I have to like pick them all out. Although I tend to just let them go. But in the landscape, it's a little different because I like clean lines and it's a whole thing. But fingers crossed, hope those do well this year. And of course, Baker Creek gives you that free seed every time. And I got Merlot lettuce, which I'm okay anytime ever getting lettuce. And this one I've grown it before. It's really good. Reputed to be the darkest red lettuce in existence. That's kind of cool. Frilly leaf margins, crisp, waxy leaves, recommended as a cutting type for baby greens production or cut and come again harvesting. I don't know why I struggled to read that, but there you go. All of my lettuces, I tend to do either a cut and come again, or I'll just kind of pick off the outside. Wherever it went. I can't find it. The Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce, it's a butter crunch. I will probably wait and pull this one as a whole head. I probably won't. Let's see if it recommends. For cut and come again, after the first 21 days, harvest the outer leaves as they mature, leaving the center part of the plant to continue to produce throughout the season. You can harvest the head by either pulling the plant out or cutting the base at the soil using sharp shears. So yeah, either just cut them about an inch or so left or just pop the outside leaves. We'll just kind of see what comes up. I may share that one bed with both of the lettuces. I might throw a couple radishes in just for some poos and giggles. But yeah, that was my whole seed haul. It wasn't huge this year, but again, I still have old ones that I'm trying to get through to see what I really like, what does really well in my area. And again, I'll bust out all my seeds once it comes closer to starting seeds. So probably the end of February. My entire table, which is 8.5 or 9 feet long, will be completely covered with seeds of all the types. Basically me going through and seeing what I want to start, what I want to plant. And I'm trying to, again, I set up at our farmer's market. I do start seeds for that to sell, which does fund my orders. I probably never would have bought the Ancho Grande pepper or the peppercini pepper or the shishito pepper if it was just for me. Definitely would have done the banana and the jalapeno, but for $2 a pack, I said, you know what, I can make that up even if I don't sell all of them. Whatever I don't, I just plant in my garden and then I sell those peppers. Again, because I don't like hot, or I preserve them. It kind of just depends on how well they do. And I can always start extra if they start going really well. But peppers I'll start, we are right on the border of 5B and 6A. And our last frost date is usually on or around Mother's Day in May. I tend to start my peppers the first week of March and then the tomatoes the last week of March, although I almost always get excited and ahead of myself and tend to do the tomatoes like right after I get all of the peppers done. I am going to try to start and do like the 6 cells of marigolds and zinnias that I saved seeds from last year because I have so many and I love them. And I'm going to try to do those as well. So I probably won't start those until probably April. Because like I said, I want them to start kind of small. That way they don't outgrow my space. Because last year I had my seed starting station. I had grow lights hooked under my counters that like I literally taped under my counters. I had seeds there. I have a really big island. They were completely like all over that. I had them outside where I was rotating them. It was insane. And I tell myself every year, don't start them. So I'm telling you, don't start your seeds yet. It is too early. Too early. Wait. Trust me, I know it's hard. I know that this is exciting. There's nothing more that I want to do. Even to throw out like the cover crop seeds. It's too early. Why do I live somewhere where it's too early all the time? Because I like it. I like having 4 seasons. But there was my little temper tantrum. But no, it gives time for rest and planning and just to get that hype built up for next year. And I'm okay with that. So that was my seed haul. What did you plant? What are you looking? What did you plant? Nothing. You planted nothing. What was the seed that you're most excited about for the 2023 garden year? Is it a flower? Is it a vegetable? I want to know because I may blame you when I order it because I don't know what I'm missing unless somebody tells me. So I'm still on that experimenting. I think this will be my 3rd garden here, my 5th garden overall. But I learn every time, and especially with Indiana having such like, you could have a rainy summer, you could have a hot summer, you could have just about anything. And I think it's been different every single year. So I just grow everything and whatever I get a big yield of, great. I put extra back. Like last year was a really good pepper year. So I put a bunch of cowboy candy back. The year before that was great tomato year. So I put a lot of spaghetti sauce back. This year, who knows? It could be a great radish year. I feel like I've kind of almost given up at brassicas. I think I'm going to take this year off of trying those. But that only gives me more room for all the other things. So again, put in the comments, what's your favorite thing to grow? What are you looking forward to growing? What seed do I just have to have? And I will see you on the next video. Until then, don't have a good day.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.